2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Windsor Gardens or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
Caitlin Bassett was filling in for Nathan today.
It was fun.
There she is.
Always.
What was your highlight, Caitlin Bassett?
Oh, the psychic talk.
Well, that's you telling us a story about your family psychic dinner.
Yes, we heard some very interesting stories about different psychics and what people got told and what they believe.
Particularly a lady named Myrtle, who turns out has turned into a bit of a cockblocker, as it turns out.
Well said, Nat.
Myrtle, ruining lives. The Premier, Roger Cook, joined us fresh off his big election win.
Yeah, he was up and about. So was Natalie after going to a wedding on the weekend, and it was full of singles.
Yeah, for a very good reason. We do talk about the politics of not inviting partners to a wedding.
This is Nathan, Nat and Sean. 937.
It's 6:04. Nathan, Nat and Sean. Nathan's still off, but don't worry. Shawnee Max here.
Hey, Nat, how are you, mate?
Oh, hello.
Any stand-up over the weekend?
No. Fell over that. No, I didn't. I had a wedding on Friday night. Our friend Bailey, who used to work
she's
with us,
absolutely
yes.
lovely.
Yes, beautiful, gorgeous little wedding. Just so much love in the air. It was a fun night. Everybody, got on the sauce and danced and had a great time. So then I had to recover for the rest of the week. I was just saying that all the squats have made my knees a little bit sore.
Oh, they would be.
But nothing made me as sore as dancing in heels on Friday night.
Your calves?
Yeah, your calves. Yeah.
Were you on a singles table or were you with others?
Well, here's the thing. For most people, no partners. So everybody was on a tear. Yeah.
Oh, how do you feel about that? We might have to come back
Well,
to that
I'm single.
at
It
some
didn't
stage.
bother me at all.
No, that's brilliant.
Yeah, and they had very restricted numbers. So it was they had a hard ceiling at 80.
Yeah.
So they had to really think about how they invited people. So there were lots of people who came on their own and had a great night, can't we?
I reckon people have a better night.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
No husbands dragging them down.
No wives dragging them down. That's the real truth in this. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that and discuss it a bit later.
All right, sure.
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
It was a tough end to the week at our house, Natalie. You were aware of this when we left the other day. We've had our German Shepherd, which I didn't realise. I kept telling people that he was close to 15, but he was actually 15 and 2 months.
And honestly, he, by German Shepherd standards as well, massive.
Yeah,
it's
he's a big unit.
And the rule of thumb is the bigger the dog, the shorter their life.
Yeah,
to
most
have
definitely.
The fact that he lived till he was 15.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard when the end does come. But 15 years is extraordinary.
It certainly is, and it was really sad times for us to have to let him go at the end of last week, but. It was quite crazy because he was going so well, and I'd always said to Megan, you're wishing him to his death all the time by saying, he's slowing down and stuff like that.
Yes,
I like to take him for a walk a couple of times a day, and if not it's me, then someone else chips in for once. And the other day it was on Wednesday, actually. I went to take him for a walk, and he just wouldn't go.
Yeah.
It was really strange. He literally walked out the front, had a wee, and then looked at me and said, I've got nothing to give.
Yeah.
And I was quite frustrated.
Yes.
Come on, mate, this is a chance to go and sniff some asses.
And it's like, dude, I'm 15.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm 15.
But it never happened before. You know how excited dogs are to get outside their yard? And he normally was like that. And then, eventually as it went on, we were able to take him. Well, we were at work together.
Yeah.
But my wife and the kids took him to the vet, and she just said the time was now.
He's done.
So we were able to go to the vet and all be with him.
Yeah.
When he finally went to sleep, which was heartbreaking.
It
and
is
everyone
so
was crying.
difficult,
Yep.
but it's actually quite beautiful when the time comes. It's like they're just so peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was really worried about the outcome of that if we're all around and the kids sharing that moment. But you're so right, Nat.
Yeah.
On the other side of things,
Yeah.
it's been a positive.
Yeah, that's right.
They were all there with him. We're all there holding him and hugging
Yes.
him and watching him just go to sleep.
What a way to go.
Yeah, it was devastating, lots of crying and all that kind of stuff. But
You're gonna make me
we're
cry
super
now,
lucky.
Sean.
Sorry, Natalie. I know. Megan said straight away, Natalie would be upset straight away. And we were all upset. But in reflection, we were so lucky to have him for that long, 15 and 2 months, which is 105 in dog years.
I mean, yeah, that's
unbelievable,
extraordinary, isn't it?
And the other part of
I am
that,
crying. I'm
you
crying
are.
about your dog.
I know.
Okay, keep going.
But the reason why I wanted to bring this up and not to start the day on a bad, it's the fact that so many people messaged me over the weekend and a lot of people had pets along the journey.
Yeah,
and
this
dogs
is
in
the thing.
particular, they're part of the family and, you know, as everyone says, you know, they're children to us. And, I just thank you for everybody who reached out to us. It's just lovely.
He was an awesome dog too. Like he's just a massive. It was like watching somebody walk a bear down the street. He was so cute, and what a great life.
Yeah, most definitely.
15 years. There are people that would wish they could get 15 years for their dog. So that's amazing.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Thank you,
R.I.P.
everybody.
Rexy.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
So Cyclone Alfred happened over the weekend.
We were following it so intensely
I know.
last week, obviously with the AFL getting canned, and that every news station was saying this is going to be unbelievable.
Well, it was bearing down on a very populated area, which doesn't happen with cyclones very often, and a long way south by cyclone standards.
Yeah, hugely. It was amazing. A couple of days ago, a guy used to play footy with Jess Sinclair.
Yeah.
Now, he was a pin-up boy.
He wasn't he?
He was
Just
knocking
little
them back in the
blondie.
day. He was showing some vision at the front of his house, and he lives on the Gold Coast, and the torrential rain that was coming through. He's actually said that whilst you're watching this video, it's actually very scary.
Yes.
And you got young kids inside.
Yeah.
Wow, it was intense.
I follow a few people that live in Queensland, and one posted something that was the sound of the wind, and it was just like this absolute howling, whistling, horrendous noise. And you just go, yeah, no, I wouldn't be happy about that. And there's some footage of a house where it's got one of those, like the flat roof that's at an angle, and the whole roof just lifts up and flips off, and well, that's not good. And those people had left the house 10 minutes before that happened.
Incredible.
Yeah, isn't it?
Incredible.
It's hard to fathom that sort of, and really the cyclone downgraded to a tropical low or a rain-bearing depression or whatever they're called before it crossed the coast, and so everyone's like, oh, it's such a fizz. No. There's a lot of rain in that, and it's moving so slowly. So that means the rain just dumps and dumps and dumps rather than blowing inland quickly. And so the flooding is what's going to be what really impacts people now.
Yeah, on the news last night, you saw a lot of areas that have flooded because they're low-lying areas, but because of what's happened in Brisbane in the past, it really does hold the water.
Yeah, that's right. And even into northern New South Wales, where Lismore, it's in a low-lying area at the best of times, and like a floodplain essentially, and it's in the title.
What would you do? I mean, getting back to Lismore, this has happened a lot in the last 10 years.
Yeah, that's right. I think this would be the
Do you bother about living there? Do you get, how do you get insurance, first of all? Because the insurance company's
going to cost you.
No.
But also the property prices, it's not worth selling. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you owe more on your mortgage than you can get, you're stuck there.
Yeah.
So,
that's true.
Yeah, it is really tough for that sort of thing. Like, obviously you're not going to buy into it now, but unless you really want to bargain. No. But, your heart goes out to those people because it's just the beginning. Like, there's so much more to come of the flooding and the damage and there's a girl that I follow on Instagram who they were about to leave on a big holiday overseas to go to Africa on a safari. Oh. And so their flights were cancelled. They couldn't leave anyway. Then their power was out, and now they need rewiring before they can get the power connected, and obviously they're supposed to have a house sitter come in while they're away, and like that holiday's ruined.
Oh, that's
just
horrendous.
all of those and that's just on the level of one person about how the disruption to their life,
let alone
multiplying by millions.
Yep.
Yeah, extraordinary.
Hopefully they're all okay, mate. They can get through it.
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Seabass is in the house.
Hey, Seabass.
Morning, how are we?
We're great. Hey, we want to do...
You're an amazing athlete, we know that.
yeah.
Sean, an amazing athlete, but we've got a new amazing athlete in the house.
I'm looking around.
Amy Harrington Carter, step up to the microphone, please.
Tell Seabass what you did on Saturday, Amy.
Yesterday.
Oh, that's good.
That's
what did you do
why
on
she can't do
Saturday,
sport
Amy?
today.
Amy, tell.
No, but we want to know what you did on Saturday.
Not a lot. My first triathlon.
we have an elite triathlete
Holy
in our midst.
moly. I didn't know you were crazy.
Yeah.
Seriously, you have to be crazy to do triathlon because it's not just one discipline you have to be good at, it's multiple. So what's your strength? Which one is your strength?
Oh, I don't know.
She can't split them because she's so good at everything.
To be fair, I'm not a runner, right?
Okay.
So I don't enjoy it, but I did it. I think swimming. I liked swimming. I'm not sure if I'm particularly fast, but I enjoyed it.
There you go. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So you did
there
your
go.
first ever one. Where was
Yeah.
it at, Amy, for everybody?
Champion Lakes for the Every Woman Triathlon, which was just beautiful. Like it's so inclusive. All the women
Except
are
for the
talking to
men.
one. Yeah, that's right.
That's not
We don't
inclusive,
want you
mate.
there. We don't need you.
You smell.
So yeah, beautiful event for a first time triathlon.
So there were different lengths.
Correct.
Which one did you do?
The long one.
Of course you did.
Which was what?
So
But
your
it's not-
first
it's
one,
not- yeah,
your
it's
first
not-
one,
it's
you
not a
went.
huge one.
I'm not going to do the little baby one. I'm going to do the longest I can.
You need a challenge, right? Yeah.
Just rocking up would be a challenge for me, so good on you.
Yeah. Up early, 5 a.m.
Yep.
Oh no, thank you. That's what. Now I know what's
Sunday?
stopping me from
Yeah.
being a triathlete.
It's just that.
That would have been
That's the
a
only
sleep
thing.
in
Oh,
for
I
you
know the
guys here,
feeling.
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Sleep in.
I can't do it on the weekend.
How many people were there?
So I think there were about 300 to 400.
Yeah, that's
So
amazing.
in my category, there were 200 of us. Then I think another 200 in the other
was a shorter
event, the
distance,
shorter
yeah.
distance, and then like a couple of hundred in each one. And kids did it as well. They were,
cute.
it was just yeah.
Just girls, obviously, not boys.
No.
Once again,
Did they
very
set you
inclusive.
off in waves? Did they set you off in waves? Because I can imagine swimming with that many people around there, you get kicked in the face.
Yep. One at a time. So it's
Yeah.
completely safe. Well,
It's as safe as it can
as
be.
safe as
Yes.
it can be. So yeah.
For everybody who's done triathlons before, it's very difficult to, first of all, getting out of the water and swimming, and then going into
bike.
the bike is okay.
Oh, the
Yeah.
transitions, yeah.
But the transition from the bike to running is the worst.
Finding your legs.
Because your legs,
Yeah.
the lactic acid builds up in your legs when you're riding,
And then you
they
start to
swell up,
run.
and then you try to run. You ever done that
I
before?
feel
It is
the same way when I drink a bottle of rosé and then try to walk afterwards. It's similar, isn't it?
Exactly
Similar?
the same. See, it's one triathlete to another. Amy, you heard it first.
Spot on.
And so, Amy, you've been bitten by the tri-bug.
Yeah.
When's the next one?
2 weeks.
Oh, wow. How have you felt this morning pulling up?
Not too bad considering I literally drank an entire bottle of water when I woke up.
Yeah.
Super thirsty. Yes, last night I was in all
that's 'cause
sorts
you
of
had a belter
hamstrings.
last night.
Yeah, I did. We had beers. First drink after a try.
Yeah.
She was anyone.
So yeah,
And, of course,
bit of stretching today.
the bike is a big section of it.
Correct.
And, I mean, because it was your first one, did you have the full carbon fibre extract?
Absolutely
So what
not.
did you have
And
a basket on the front of your bike?
Pretty much. No. I had gears, mountain bike. There was a massive, like a full-on headwind down the straight, and just everyone, you could just see the struggle. And it's like, I've got to do this 4 times.
Yes. So did you get straight on the internet try and buy a new bike?
Yeah,
Is that where
I
we're
went
at?
there today. My husband was like, you impulse buyers, stop
Yeah.
doing that. I'm like, I need a bike. I need a
It's not an
tri
impulse buy. I'm an athlete.
This is it,
Yeah.
right?
It's an impulse try. Hey, hello. Well done, Amy. We're very proud of you.
We are.
Guys,
We're all going to
what a
Hawaii
legend.
later in the year.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Marina,
If you could
can't
qualify for the Ironman in Hawaii, that'd be terrific.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Windsor Gardens or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
Recycle. Nathan and Sean love a good mix, just not between bins. Learn how to recycle right and more at wastesorted.wa.gov.au.
We want you to be a great assort, so we are testing your recycled radio knowledge. Up for grabs is a Rottnest Island experience worth $1,000. We're about to play you a snippet of something that happened historically on our show.
Absolutely, we certainly are. Do we say good morning to Alicia first?
Sure.
Good morning, Alicia.
Morning.
All right, Alicia, here's what's going to happen. We are going to turn back time to the 22nd of February, give or take a day, maybe, 2012. Now, have a listen to this audio and we will ask you a question at the end of it.
The unthinkable happened. A man named Henry Mazza beat Sean's record.
He will place them into his pants, but Nathan will place them in his hands.
Okay, the question is, Sean set a world record by putting 273 what down his pants? Alicia? Eggs. Does love a pocket. We were just talking about your pocket eggs the other day.
This morning.
Eggs is not correct, although I would like to see that. But not at the current price of eggs, obviously. Mandy's in Wongan Hills. Hi, Mandy.
Good morning.
Morning, Mandy.
All right, Mandy. So Sean set a world record by putting 273 what down his pants?
I think it was socks.
Seabass, you laughing?
He's normally rocking several pairs of socks down his pants. Is that what you're laughing at, Seabass?
I just think it's such a funny, common thing for boys to do.
Who does? Socks is not correct, Mandy. Not correct, I'm afraid.
Oh, we're going to come back to that.
How many have you got down there right now?
Two. They're footy socks too.
Two socks or two pairs? Julie's in Bentley. Morning, Julie. Julie?
Hey, Jules.
Julie, you there?
Behind the pot plant net.
Julie, you there?
Oh, that hurt. Jules!
Jules, okay, we're moving on. Stephen, hello.
How are we?
Great, Steve. So Sean set a world record by putting 273 what down his pants?
I'm going to go with ice.
You're going to go with what?
You just cut out then, Stephen, with your answer.
Ice cube?
Ice cubes. This is in 2012 before ice baths were a thing.
That's a gutsy call.
Yeah, I know, right? And you would have needed the socks for protection. Ice cubes is not correct. Stephen, thank you. 13 24 10, keep calling in. Pauline, hello.
Good morning.
Okay,
hey, Pauline.
So this was a big day in 2012, Pauline. Sean set a world record by putting 273 what down his pants?
Bananas?
Sean?
Yes.
Yes, it was bananas.
Like real physical bananas or like the candy bananas?
No. Actual bananas. Actual bananas. A lot of room in his pants.
Yeah. I was going to go with the candy ones and just hope that Nathan and Nat had to eat them to eat them out.
Because here's what happened, Pauline. It was a great day, but Sean had previously set the record.
Yes.
And then a guy called Henry Mazza in America broke the world record, and so Sean had to reclaim it. 273.
Well done, Sean.
Thank you very much, Pauline. As of today, still the record holder.
Oh, hello.
I've held for over 10 years.
Pauline, you've scored a Rottnest Island experience worth $1,000. That's all yours.
Oh, my God. That's fantastic, guys. Thanks so much. That's brilliant.
I know. Shall we relive the magical moment where it happened back in the day?
We have done the unthinkable.
It is unthinkable to have 273 bananas in your pants, but yes, you're right.
They were a very loose pair of pants, by the way. Have you worn them very much since?
Absolutely not. Too much room.
The old banana pants.
Don't worry, Recycle Radio is back again tomorrow. Well done, Pauline.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Now, we're just talking about socks down the pants. Seabass, you then regaled us with the tale from your playing days.
Well, I had to ask Sean about socks down the pants because we were talking about the bananas, and I used to put socks in my bra when we did bench press testing because I have very long arms and not a very large chest, and you had to touch the bar to your chest.
Yes,
so
for it to count as a proper rep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I,
you patted them out a bit.
Put a little bit of extra padding in there.
How many pairs of socks?
Oh, Like, I'd put, like, I wouldn't make it too obvious.
Yeah,
I couldn't
like,
come in rocking double D.
Like,
That would be
She's got half a watermelon at each side. Yeah.
I'd pat it out nicely, maybe like one pair of socks in each side, so it's equal. But then I would forget to take them out afterwards. We'd do core work training and it'd be like bouncing around and like
The little pom-poms are sticking out.
getting a bit saggy and stuff. I'm like, what's going on? One's up around my neck, one's down near my tummy. So, no, but I was never very good at bench press, so I don't think it really helped me. But any gain.
You also told me about that male models.
What's the secret there?
Bread, apparently. A nice bit of white bread that you can shape around the
Your genitals.
If you're a swimwear or underwear model.
Yeah.
Because it produces more of a mound rather than us being able to see your franken beans. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, that's the perfect Bunnings sausage sizzle, isn't it? Bit of white bread around the snagger.
No onions.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
So I was at a wedding on Friday.
Yeah.
Beautiful wedding. Bailey, who used to work with us here, you might have, if you've called before, she used to answer the phones and stuff. And she's
lovely.
a joy, a little ray of sunshine. It was a gorgeous wedding. But we were talking about it earlier, Sean.
Because I asked you, were you put on the singles table? Because that happens a lot to people, and you go, and who was there?
And the thing is, there was no singles table because there were only 2 tables for starters. So there were 2 long tables with sort of 40 people on each.
Wow.
So, and there was also no singles table because hardly anybody brought a partner. So there were people that we know that we've worked with who are married. Their husbands weren't invited, so they came on their own. And you know what? Everybody had a great time. And I think that was more to cap the numbers. Like they had a hard ceiling of 80, and so you just can't invite everybody. And if you don't know the husbands well, wouldn't you rather have more of your friends there than their partners that you don't know well?
Well, I think the answer to that is yes, Nat. But at the same time,
noses can get out of
that's
joint.
a conversation.
Yeah.
Noses
See,
do
Bass, you're in the wedding planning zone, yeah? You're engaged anyway.
I have started looking at some things and it's all very overwhelming, but the numbers thing is very important. And to be fair, I don't want to meet someone for the first day on my wedding day. Especially if it's my partner's family members and things like that. But I've been to many a netball girl wedding and some have not been partner invites, and I'm absolutely fine with it because, to be honest, I want to muck around and chat with the netball girls anyway. I don't want to be worrying about what my partner's up to or making sure he's feeling comfortable.
That's the main thing. You got to make sure that the person you're with is comfortable, and you've got to introduce them to people, and you know, you having conversations that they're not a part of.
Yeah.
But I reckon today, if I was to be invited to a wedding or something and Megan now, she'd be flat. She'd be flat.
People are more likely to invite Megan and not you, though, to be fair.
Oh, that's another thing.
But to be honest, the other question is, how long do you need to be together as a partnership?
Yes.
Because we had this conversation at work where one of the guys was like, oh, yeah, my brother had been dating this girl for only a couple of months. And I said, she can't come to my wedding. And he cracked the... And she's in all the wedding photos now, and they broke up a couple of weeks afterwards. Like, you don't want that.
Yeah,
you don't want that.
Because it's costing you too much money.
That's the thing. There's a financial aspect to it as well. I mean, you're talking, what, minimum 200 a head these days?
Yep.
So, like, is this person's girlfriend, who I've never met, worth $200 to me?
The answer is no. Did you see
is
that?
there somebody else I would rather be sitting in that seat?
What
and the
if
answer's
they said,
almost always yes.
100%.
I'll pay for my way. Like, I want my partner to come and I'll give you some cash so they can come along. Would you feel more obliged?
Not if there was a hard ceiling about how many you could have. Do you know what I mean? Like, if it's easy to pull up another chair, maybe.
And if you're saying no to somebody else and then you're letting somebody else... Did you see that wedding in Sydney over the weekend? There was 100 people that went along to this wedding and it turned into an absolute brawl. And the cops were called. It's on the news last night. So the big punch on and stuff like this. One lady went to hospital. Now, I think that was over a partner situation. Yeah. Some people bought them. Some people weren't allowed to.
Weddings are just too hard. It's just too hard.
There's a lot, and it's a minefield, and people always get upset about either the fact that their partner is invited or isn't invited.
They do. And that's what we want to talk about right now.
We do.
We've got an overnight stay with breakfast for 2 at the Intercontinental Perth. You can indulge in a $1 breakfast at Intercontinental Perth when you book the WA Locals package today, Nat.
All right, 132410. The question is, was the issue of inviting partners to the wedding, did that become a big issue? Was somebody not happy about it? Did somebody kick up a stink? Did somebody bring their partner anyway when you said they weren't invited?
Oh, I know that happens. I'd be flat Stanley.
I know somebody whose father-in-law at the wedding brought 2 women.
Is he kidding me? Try handling one. Far out.
And
it's not easy.
he sort of called at the last minute and said, "Oh, would it be okay if I brought somebody else along? Because it was a down south wedding. She's down here anyway, and don't worry because she's not going to eat or drink anything anyway." And in every photo, she was there with a glass of wine in her hand. Every single photo.
BYO, to put her on good bag.
All right, Isabella. Hello.
Hello, how are you guys?
Great, Isabella.
Great.
Now you just got married, I believe. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. So I just got married and my family's Italian and my partner's side is Scottish. So we've got a really big family.
Oh, man. How do you get around that, Isabella?
It was so hard. So I said to all my cousins and stuff, if you haven't been with your partner long, unfortunately they're not going to get an invite.
Yes.
Because I'd rather invite like all our family. So on the day of my wedding, everyone was coming and I got a phone call as I'm getting my makeup done from half of my family saying they're not turning up because their partners are not coming.
What? How do you go with that, Steve?
Why wait?
I know, I'm doing my makeup and I'm furious and I'm crying and then I just ended up hanging up on each of them. And I was like, you do you.
Why would they wait till the day of your wedding to tell you that? That's like double rude.
I know, and I said to them, you could have told me, another day, and they thought, oh, well, they didn't want to stress me out.
Oh, lucky. Wait till you're having your makeup done.
Isabella, it does sound like that it would have been a conversation with their partners who then might, from my angle, I feel like they might have said it just got too hard for them to just go by themselves.
Exactly, but they were all like, we had buses that would drive them there to the ceremony and take them back.
Yeah,
you
had it all covered.
By themselves. Yep, we had everything covered.
But it's their family. It's not like they don't know one another.
I know, exactly.
I know, and the worst person is my cousin who had been dating her boyfriend for 2 weeks.
Oh,
that's not. You can't say that to your boyfriend. It's 2 weeks.
No, that's what I was like, you don't even know him yet.
And if you're not together when the invitations go out, I don't think you've got a claim on it.
No, I don't think you've got a claim on it either.
Exactly.
Oh, Isabella, what a stitch up. Sounds like you're from a horrible family. Like you've married into a different one now. Good luck. Thank you. Amy's in Balladura. Hello.
Hello, how are you guys?
Good, Ames.
It can be. I didn't have a problem with it, obviously, because I'm single. But all the other girls around us were having a great time too with being at a wedding without your partner. But has it been an issue in your life?
Yeah. Well, my dad's family have made it very clear for a lot of their life they did not like my mother. So when both of their daughters actually had weddings, their first one, my dad was invited and us 2 kids were invited. Mum did not get an invite.
That's low.
I know.
Amy.
Dad did fight for that one.
Yeah.
So Mum did end up coming to that wedding. However, when the second daughter's wedding rocked around, again, same thing. Dad got an invite, us 2 kids, and Mum was left off the guest list again.
Poor Mum.
Just a quick question, Amy. Is your mum that bad? What's going on there?
No, not at all. They've made it clear from the day that he was dating her that, they didn't really like the relationship. So, I mean, my mum's lovely. Everyone at her workplace loves her. Everyone in her family. And
it's not like she's renowned for getting drunk and abusing people at weddings or anything.
Wearing a white dress at weddings.
No, not like that at all.
Amy.
Wow. That's petty, isn't it?
That's petty, and it's a very strong stance.
And clearly your mum and dad have been together a long time now.
Yeah, about 40 years. They just passed. Yeah.
Hey, Ames, just on that, did your dad go to both? I mean, your mum went to the first one because your dad was able to get over the line. Did your dad go to the second one?
I believe on the second one we were quite firm. We didn't go.
Yeah.
So who walked who down the aisle?
Oh, no.
It was a cousin's wedding. Yeah.
It was my cousin's wedding,
Wow, Amy, that's
awkward.
There's some serious family bitterness going on there. Thank you. Amanda's in Willerton. Hello.
Hello, guys.
Hey, Amanda.
Hey, Amanda. What have you got for us?
So when I was 17, I was going out with a beautiful boy, and he invited me to his sister's wedding. We'd only been going out a couple of months, and he was in the groom's party. And I just thought, no way, like I should not be at this wedding. And he was like, no, it's fine. Like, they really want you to come. So I really made a point of staying out of all the photos. I was like, this is just not a good idea. And 24 years later, we're still together, and unfortunately that marriage broke up within a couple. So,
So yours was the lasting
That's
marriage.
amazing. That's amazing, isn't it? I mean, you did all the right things by, staying out of the family photos and stuff like that because you're like, no, I haven't earned my spot here yet.
Oh, that's good
But then,
thinking.
yeah, those turns out those photos have been torn up now, so it's not an issue.
I know.
Amazing. Amazing. And it is tough when you are the partner your partner's in the bridal party because they're off doing things the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, they'd be like, we've got to go and do photos. We've got to go and do speeches. We've got to go and dance with that bridesmaid. And you're just sitting there going, okay, I guess I'll sit here like a potato.
Yeah, and if you don't know the family very well at that stage either, it's not like you can have a good old chat with the potential mum-in-law.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, now, Bailey's wedding you were talking about, was it mostly then women as the guests?
Yes, disproportionately more women than men. But, I mean, obviously Jamie's got friends too. So,
Yeah.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Windsor Gardens or download the Revo Fitness app, revofitness.com.au, or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
Time to unpack the state election with the newly elected Premier, Roger Cook. Cookie, of course, you inherited the title from Mark McGowan in what was an absolute landslide pandemic-affected election last time.
That's right, yeah.
Where the Liberal Party were absolutely decimated. And we expected that there'd be a correction, that would kind of tip back the other way a little bit with this election. And it has to some extent, but probably not to what the Liberal Party were hoping.
Well, and certainly not to the extent that the pundits were predicting. I mean, obviously there was a swing away from us. 2021 was an extraordinary election, right?
Yes.
But in 2025, there's no pandemic, there's no issues like that kicking around. So, I mean, we're really proud of the win that we got as a result of it.
Yeah.
From your point of view, though, Roger, how satisfying is it for you? Because Nat's right, it's an endorsement of you personally.
Yep.
Was there a bit of relief involved then? I'd imagine, Caitlin, and when you've played sport before and you play these things, there's relief more than anything after.
Oh, desperate relief. Obviously. The lead up to Saturday night, that's obviously a really nerve-wracking period. I mean, this is like an appraisal, or, from a sporting analogy, you sit down with the coach and says, right, let's talk about this season and whether we want to talk about next season.
Yeah.
So,
this was your contract renewal, wasn't it?
You're rewarded for your job. What have you done in the past? What's your form?
Yes.
McManus, you haven't kicked any goals
and
lately.
what are you going to do next season?
And now, what do you propose to do next season? And so, we put our plan in front of the people of Western Australia. So pleased that that's been endorsed, particularly around our Made in WA policies, which is about bringing all those big manufacturing jobs back to Western Australia.
Yeah.
We can make stuff here, and that's going to be a real focus for the government going forward.
Because that equals jobs.
Equals jobs.
Which, and also jobs these are jobs in Perth rather than FIFO, or is it going to be?
It will be right round the state.
Yeah.
The reason why we can look at this opportunity is because of the renewable energy future that we've got.
Yeah.
And if you've got access to reliable, affordable, clean energy, you want to set your factory up here.
Yes.
And so the opportunities for Western Australia are huge. We want to make sure that we're right at the front end of that, really benefiting from it. One of the things we talked about in the election is that we wanted to keep the economy strong, the strongest in the nation, and continue to grow Western Australian jobs. And at the end of the day, that's what people want to talk about. They want to make sure they've got a job. They want to make sure their kids will have a job.
Yeah.
And that was a real focus for us.
So some of the businesses that don't bring their plant work over here, have you thought about chucking a tariff on? Apparently that's all the rage.
A tariff on everyone. I've been watching affairs overseas.
It's all the rage.
Just put a tariff on someone. Something.
Some stuff here. There's
anyway,
tariffs.
The best thing after a win is looking at your phone afterwards and seeing all the messages that come through.
Yeah.
I'm imagining yours has blown up massively, but
Meltdown,
any messages that stood out to you from any special people?
Oh, well, obviously, the message I got yesterday morning from the PM was
he
really
would have been
special.
particularly happy about it. He's about to call an election.
Absolutely, and so he's, hyper-focused on these things, I'm sure, but he's also a great mate, and he was just delighted for us and for me, and it was really nice to hear from him. Albo's a great mate, so it was terrific to get that message.
Yeah, great. And did you sort of then start asking for things that you wanted while he was in a good mood about you?
Just while we're on that, mate. Yeah, actually, I've got a cyclone up north. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit busy.
Hey, Roger, I can't remember who I was speaking to, but it was some group just recently who was telling me they're waiting for some money to do some... and it would have been the sporting world, but it was to do some development.
Yeah.
And because you're in a state of flux at the moment, you weren't Premier, so to speak, that none of these decisions could be made. Now that things have changed back in, have you got a list of people you have to get back to? Righto, we can give you the $5 million for that?
Yeah, we will do what's called coming out of caretaker today.
Yes.
We'll come out of caretaker, which means we're given the reins of the government back again, and we can start making decisions. But the first thing we've got to do, of course, is just, pull the government back together, get all the cabinets in place.
So a bit of reshuffling needed?
Oh, well, look, we want to make sure that the team does... We're two things, but I want renewal, right? This is a new government, not a re-elected government. We want to make sure that there's good renewal, but one of the things we said is we're an experienced team, so we also want to benefit from that experience.
There's still some seats to be decided as well.
Absolutely. So the vote's still being counted, so we can't get ahead of ourselves. We know that we'll form government, but we don't know who specifically.
So that's not finalised yet. So it's hard to finalise a cabinet then, from your point of view.
Correct.
Yeah.
Roger, how long do you reckon you could be staying this gig for? You're an energetic... I was going to say bastard. Can you say that? I know you're the Premier, and I don't want to be disrespectful.
An energetic chap.
But you are. It seems like you could do this job for a million years, You're full of beans.
Well, I bring a lot of... I try to bring as much energy to the role as I can. This is an extraordinary opportunity in life, right?
Yeah.
It's an honour and a privilege to fill these roles, and so I'm really humbled by the support that we've got from the Western Australian community. But it's a sprint, not a marathon. You just got to give it your best every single day in, day out. And I'm sure at one stage, at some point in the future, my body will give out.
It's the Energizer Bunny at the moment.
But I'm only 80 months into my role as Premier, and so I'm just getting started.
Hey, Cookie, talk us through, what is election day? How does that pan out for you? Talk us through it from woe to go. Because, for us, it's like, I voted a week before. It was nothing. I watched the coverage on the Saturday night just to get across it. But, what was the day? How does it unfold for you?
Well, there's not a lot to do on election day because you've pretty much done everything by then.
What about kissing some babies or something?
Well, I found a baby to kiss, a few hands to shake. Obviously Carly and I do that, typical shot they have in the media.
So down at your local primary school?
Yeah, putting our votes in and
they
a
had
press
ballot
conference.
paper there, did they?
They didn't have ballot paper. Thank goodness. Nice and early in the day. And, I just went round and visited some of our booth workers around the community. I got as far as Dawesville, actually, and then come back at around mid to late afternoon and then just rest up because it's going to be a big night. And it's going to be a long night.
You don't have a nap or anything, do you?
I tried, but 3 different sausage sizzles. So much democratic sausage. It was just ridiculous.
I did see the photo op of you eating a sausage, and I thought you acquitted yourself well. It's not an easy one to do because obviously you've got to get. It's all about the angle. You can't be eating it from the side because that's not normal. But also you can't just be going front on.
Like you're going down on the thing, right?
That's right, exactly. So, but I thought you had an adequately angled and delicately.
I had a whole team of people around me holding serviettes going, please don't, get the sauce on your shirt.
Mustard down your shirt. Yeah.
And of course, you've got to get the right, because one of the things which divides the community most of all is how you have your sausage.
Yes, exactly.
So
exactly.
Yeah, do you have it onions with onions without, what's the role of the sauce? Is it tomato, barbecue? And of course...
Do the onions go on the bottom or on the top?
Well, that's right. And the big division, of course, right through the community, polarises communities everywhere, is the role of mustard, right? So it's, I'm a big mustard. I love the mustard.
I'm pro-mustard.
Sauce.
I agree.
But it's some of the sausage sizzles, they had sweet chilli sauce on there. I mean, what's with that?
Hang on. No,
we're new age, aren't we?
You're in power. You can do something about that. And what about the party? How did the party go? Did you guys kick on? What happened?
Yeah, no, it was chaos, right? So we went to the there's a sort of like a sequence of events you have to come through. One side concedes, then you go out and give your speech.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Libby and I...
Yeah, you crossed over.
Speech. I know, that was...
I know.
And I didn't mean to be disrespectful or anything like that. We were just sort of like in the moment, and we had to get on with the night, really.
Yeah.
So that was really unfortunate. I was very sorry about that. But it's but then in the actual room itself, it's too chaotic, too monster. Like there's media, there's cameras, there's journos, there's a lot of people having a great time. So we just got home.
How many people were there, do you reckon?
Oh, there was a few hundred, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's mostly, Kwinana crew, some of the crew from Perth, and then they all shot off back into the city to party, in the big town.
Yeah, because on our side of the fence, sometimes you think, how boring would that be? I mean, but it's such
a room full of politicians.
Exactly. Sorry, Roger, to say that, but
I know
a lot of people put a lot of time and effort into it. It's a celebration of all the work that's done.
And the volunteers and everybody.
It's mostly about the volunteers. There was a smattering of politicians there. A splattering, you could have that as well. Yeah. But most of the MPs are celebrating with their own teams round the state. So we had a sort of like combined party of myself, Rockingham, Warnbro, and Baldiva. So it's now Port Kennedy, Secret Harbour. Sorry. And so then we had a few politicians there, but it was mostly just the booth workers. Yes. They've been on that booth, in some cases well before dawn. Yes. And they've worked all day, right through to 6 o'clock. They're incredible people, and it is just so great to be supported by such an army of great volunteers.
Yeah, nice. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We'll be seeing you around frequently. You're a frequent visitor here as the Premier.
Always love coming in. It's great to see you guys.
Good to have you, and well done. It's a great achievement.
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Seabass, you and your family did a little activity together the other day.
I have to preface this story by saying it wasn't my whole family because there are some non-believers.
Okay.
Yeah, so got a text message from Dad one day saying, hey, do you want to go to a psychic dinner?
Of course, Mike is a believer.
Yes.
Mike,
I know.
Come on, mate.
And things you'd probably never think you'd hear from your father. And I was like... I was like, okay.
Psychic dinner. I love maths.
Yeah.
He's got it all covered.
Nothing surprises me really with him anymore. So I was like, yeah, why not? And he invited a lot of our family. So my sister went, I went, our partners didn't want to go.
Your mum
didn't want to go.
Oh, hilarious.
She didn't want a bar of it. And my auntie went, a cousin, and we had a few other family friends there with us. So you bought a table of 10, and this was at Pagoda. So we went
South Perth.
Yeah. I've never been there before.
I had my school ball there in year 11.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So we went down there, get a glass of wine, you get a 3-course meal, and when you sit down at your table,
what a deal.
Get 3 little cards that are on your plate, and it has 3 different psychics on those cards.
Right.
So what happens is there's a separate room, and it's just full of psychics. They're all there with their little card tables, and one at a time, the waiter will come out and he'll say, who's got Leanne? And so if you've got Leanne, you jump up and you go out and you see her and you sit with her for 10 minutes. So any point of time, multiple people from the table are off going to see different psychics.
Yeah.
You might have the same cards as other people on your table.
Or you might not.
Yes.
So they're kind of randomly allocated to you. Yes.
You weren't allowed to switch though. It's funny because they had a picture of what they looked like, and Dad was stoked because he had quite a glamorous looking psychic.
That would have been Leanne for sure.
On the back, I think her name was Ozzy actually, randomly. On the back, it tells you what their strengths are. So I had Myrtle as one of mine, and her strengths were tea reading. So she did the tea leaves.
Because she's 100 years old with a name like Myrtle.
She was quite ancient. And then someone else, she did like ring therapy where she used the ring.
Oh, yes.
I had tarot cards. So there's lots of different things. And so it was the best thing when you got up and went into the other room and had a little chat with your psychic and came back and you had the conversation.
Then you'd report back on what they said.
Yes. And so the tea leaves with Myrtle, it was quite interesting. She correctly identified that I was an athlete. The tea told her that.
That 6'4" woman that just walked in. Okay, keep going.
The tea told her that. She also tried to tell me that I was very fast when I was an athlete, which wasn't correct. And I felt bad. There was something she said to me and I was like, no, that's
no, Myrtle,
right,
come on.
Can I ask you, when she looked at the tea leaves, was she explaining, see that leaf over there? Okay.
Yeah, she was like, oh, see this and this looks like a this.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, okay. It's literally like in Harry Potter when she reads the tea leaves in Harry Potter. It's like that. You're supposed to make things in your mind. Then the second lady I had, she was a little bit different. She did tarot cards.
Yes.
So I sat down and I didn't wear my engagement ring because I didn't want to give too many flags away. I was very like, I came from work, so I was just a little bit, I wasn't in like sports gear or anything like that. And she said to me, oh, have you had a fight with your partner recently? I said, oh, no, the opposite. We actually just got engaged. And she said, oh, well, you're not going to like this. He's not the one for you. And I came back to the table and Dad was like, what's wrong? And my face was just like, I was just computing it. And I was like, she told me Reese isn't the one for me. And they just...
That's so funny.
So it was great. So as you were eating, you were talking and got to share some stories.
Did anybody else have any moments where they went, oh, my God, this psychic has really seen my soul, or they knew stuff that they shouldn't have known, or they spoke to someone from beyond the grave?
No. Dad did get a, I've got your dad here type thing, and tried to tell a story about
hilarious.
like seeing a past person and things like that. There was a couple of those situations. A lot of us got the same type of messages, and that's the thing about the psychic stuff. You can take it or you can leave it. If you're open to it, you can read what you want from those messages. So her telling me that Reese is the one for me, that's fantastic. And I can use that now as leverage for him. Anytime he annoys me, I can tell him, well, the psychic told me.
Leanne was right about you.
So, no, but it was very entertaining. A great thing to do with your family or a group of friends. You have a couple of drinks, you eat great food. Like, it was the best night ever.
The last time we had a psychic in here, but we didn't do it as a family, but just as a team here.
We're a family.
We're a family. At the end of it, there's a lot of the staff that kept coming in. Oh, my God. There was girls crying. And it's like,
bawling. Like,
really?
Inconsolable. I don't know what she told her, but this girl was inconsolable after it. And it's like... Is everything okay? Also, they're kind of just making it up.
Well,
yes, Natalie.
If you've got a big decision to make, I would not go and see a psychic and be like, oh, what shall I quit my job? Like that type of thing. I just think you've got to be really careful with
I can tell you how fake it is because I did it once. So years ago, we were down south and a friend of mine had brought this, she had a friend visiting her from over east, and this girl was just a bit of a prickly personality. It wasn't easy to get along. She wasn't easy to get along with. And somebody brought out the tarot cards and I went, oh, I can do this. And so I did a reading for her, made it all up. She started crying. So I was like, no, yeah, that's, I do not have a gift. I was just like going, oh yeah, that's the 7 of Cups. And okay, this means, and I'd just been given a couple of little kernels about her life, that I'd observed in the preceding hours. And I'm like, this is enough to completely make it up, and did. And yeah, she took it to heart.
If you had a psychic dinner now, who of your family would go and who would be non-believers, do you think? Because I found it surprising. I thought Mum would come along just, for the experience and like to join in the family, but she was staunchly like, no.
Oh, yeah.
God, I don't know many.
I don't think any of the men in my family would go.
Oh, no.
And I don't doubt my mum would be into it. All my cousins would. We're all around the same age, and we would just, for the sheer fun of it, I think.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It'd be, again, most of the girls would buy into it. With a couple of chaperones.
Mike Bassett's a bit of an outlier, I think.
He's an outlier.
Mike Bassett loves Glee too, also.
That's damning, isn't it? All right, 13 24 10. Look, I don't know. Have you had an experience with a psychic? Maybe you went to one of these psychic dinners and they gave you so much insight that it changed your life.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah.
Fiona, what crazy psychic experience did you have?
Well, this is just a friend of mine who just has a bit of a psychic ability. Really, I'm just going to keep it short because obviously it's a really long story. Okay, long story short, we couldn't find my husband's passport anywhere, and he was due to fly out in a couple of days. And we were panic stations, searching, literally pulling the house apart. And I just thought of messaging my friend, and I just said, by any chance, if you could come over. And she said, I can't come over. Let me have I can't. But she said, I'll have a think about it. And I was like, okay, thinking nothing of it. And then she messaged me a day later saying, did you find the passport? And I said, no, I haven't found it anywhere. We pulled the house apart. I don't know what to look. And she just said, have you checked all his jacket pockets? And I said, no. So I went through his dressing gown and his work shirt, his work high vis, and it wasn't in there. Anyway, long story short, I checked his suit jacket pocket inside, and there the passport was. No, so anyway, I ran out to my husband and showed it to him, and he said, what? And I was like, so I called my friend, and I said, what? How did you know it was in there? She said, was it in his suit jacket pocket? And I said, yeah. She said, inside suit jacket pocket, yes. I said, what? How did you know? She said, oh, it came to me in a dream, and I just remembered, and I thought I'd just quickly message you and just check if that's where it was. So there you go.
So why is he keeping his passport in his suit jacket? Where was he?
Oh, he is off.
Running off.
Fiona, I'd put a chain on this cat. He's wanting to leave you in a heartbeat.
Yeah, he couldn't wait to leave. No, he's
I love that you checked the dressing gown pocket.
It's got to be there.
It's got to be there. Dressing gown pocket. Amazing. Thanks,
Love the
Fiona.
accent
So
too.
a friend with psychic ability. That's good. Bianca, hello.
Hi.
Hey,
All
B.
right. What was the psychic experience, Bianca?
It wasn't me. It was actually my mum. She went and saw a psychic, and then about 2 weeks later actually left my dad, and they had been married for 16 years.
No. What did the psychic say to her?
She, to this day, this was 14 years ago, to this day, she will not tell me. She refuses to tell me.
But had there been any signs that she wasn't happy in the marriage, or that the marriage was, sort of naturally coming to an end?
Now that I'm older, I obviously see the signs that it wasn't all perfect. I mean, I was only 17 at the time. But, yeah, no, I just came home from work one day and she was just packing her stuff in the car and she was like, yeah, I'm going.
Mate, if the tea leaves say you have to leave, don't you have to leave. And this is why Reece needs to be on his toes.
Exactly.
Seabass.
On his best behaviour.
Because,
Wow.
Yeah.
The power of a good psychic.
Yeah?
I'm one of three. I'm the oldest. And always through my childhood, I always had people asking if I was adopted.
Yeah.
Because my mum's English, my dad's Italian, and I have the tan skin, so I don't really look like my mum much.
Yeah.
And she said that the psychic only picked up the other two kids, not me.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, hang on, am I actually adopted? But no, I'm not.
Well, that would have been panic stations that everyone's lying to you.
I know.
And then your mum tells you she only picks up 2 kids.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bit of mayhem.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, that's a bit concerning. But yeah, no, to this day, yeah, she still just won't tell me what was said. So,
oh,
wow.
How
Crazy.
mystifying. But whatever it was powerful. Powerful enough for you to go, you know what, see you later. Thanks, Bianca. Holly, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good,
Holly, have you had a Myrtle experience as well?
Literally, yeah. I went to the exact psychic dinner about 2 weeks ago at the Sterling Arms.
Yes.
It was my Valentine's Day present from my partner.
Amazing.
I kept on bugging him that I want to do it.
Yeah.
Did you love it?
I had. It's definitely an experience. I've done it before about 5 years ago. That one at the time seemed somewhat accurate, but this one 2 weeks ago I hope isn't accurate because Myrtle said I'm going to be knocked up in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah.
That's very specific.
When she's showing me the tea leaves, she's showing me my partner and she's pointing to his down there area and he's a bit happy to see me.
He's got bananas in his pants.
Yeah. So I guess you could say my legs have been crossed.
Yes.
Then.
A lot of headaches.
Do you know
Can't
what?
be too
Your
careful.
poor partner.
Myrtle also told me I'd end up in a wheelchair. She said, do you care for someone? Are you a carer? I can see someone in a wheelchair. And I said, no. And she said, look after your knees because you're going to end up in a wheelchair, which I don't doubt, like netball and stuff like that.
I know, but I don't think you're going to lose the use of
you
your
can't
legs.
say that to somebody.
You never know. Myrtle knows things
Bloody
that we
Myrtle.
don't
It's
know.
not Myrtle,
okay?
it's the tea leaves. Myrtle's just the conduit, you know?
Mate, Holly's partner's not getting any for the next bloody foreseeable fortune because of Myrtle.
That's Myrtle's fault. Amazing.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Tomorrow on the show, Morning Glory is back with the Perth Glory's David Williams.
It just came out funny.
Yeah, no, I heard you. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. David is undefeated. Well, relatively speaking.
Yeah. He's you got to be good to beat him.
Yeah,
but
he's awesome.
you don't want it to be a gimme. Plus, Recycle Radio is back tomorrow. Another magic moment from somewhere in our history. We'll go back through the archives, ask a question about it. You could win $1,000 trip to Rotto.
Awesome.
Nice. Seabass, thanks for coming in
Thanks,
today.
Seabass.
Always a pleasure.
I'm off to the west. Go write some stories.
Good on
Look
you,
at her
mate.
go. And she's, she used to be an athlete. Now she's a journalist. I know. We'll be back tomorrow.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Windsor Gardens or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.